sick, buddy?
I don't know. I've had something for a couple days now, like a cold. Like it came on something, and then
you
all
sound
of a sudden,
stuffed up.
yeah. So I've been taking like some NyQuil, which is like real good shit at night. I've slept fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of I've gotten like Zicam stuff. Nicholas had like, I think we're thinking he might have allergies because he's been kind of a runny nose. But the thing is, like, if he's sick, he doesn't really let you know unless like you see it, because he's always still like go go go. Like it doesn't affect him. Like he's still running at 99% capacity.
He's at that age where
he's not old and decrepit.
Even if he doesn't feel well, he still feels better than we feel when we feel well.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I tell him, I'm like, dude, enjoy it now. Like, you know, you don't want to wake up early. You know, it's still dark out. You know, you want to go to bed now. Enjoy it now. I mean, I'm trying to reason with, you know, a 2.5-year-old. Which
I like the fact that you're already instilling a fear of age into him. He's just sitting in his crib looking at you, and you're like, enjoy it while you can, little man. It goes fast, and it doesn't get any better than it is right now.
Yeah.
I can already tell this is going to be an episode of cutting out you clearing your throat. Luckily, it's the exact same cadence every time, so I can see it on the waveform and just go through and cut that out first.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping it's okay here, because the new setup, it's like it's my living room, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, I've got the curtain here, I've got the wall here with the shelving and the couch, so I'm thinking, okay, well maybe it's going to be okay, you know, because you have a similar setup where you're just facing, you know, the wall of your apartment, and you just have the idiot on the other side of the wall with her music.
Exactly. The only problem that you're going to have is when your wife has to make an emergency cake behind you. So we'll have to.
She said she's shut down now. She's
shut down forever?
No. Well, until the baby is, you know, but she said, like, yeah, because she did an armadillo cake recently. Our moms would know this. This is such a mom thing. Like, there's steel magnolias, and there's some scene in there where there's some wedding or something going on, and they're having like a red velvet armadillo cake. I don't know. I mean, I've never watched the movie, but Erica said that she made.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But it looked really. I sent you the pictures.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah.
No, she's very talented baker.
Yeah. So
and cake artist, I think, would be a more appropriate term. Your wife is a cake artist.
Yeah. And then I basically also earlier this evening, I helped her make pregnancy. They're kind of like post delivery pads. Like with because basically everything is like burning and sore and tender and stuff after they deliver the baby. So what?
Oh God, I never thought about that.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's basically these kind of like women's like always sanitary pads, but then you put like aloe vera and witch hazel on it, and then you like freeze them, and then she had them before, like when she had Nicholas. Yep.
This is such an eclectic group of shit.
I know, it's perfect. It's the best way to come back.
Let's just do it, buddy.
Hey there, cats and kittens. Welcome to episode 320 of Culture Doom, coming back after a bit of a hiatus for a myriad of reasons. I am one of your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm your other host. My name is Brendan.
And how have you been doing, Brendan?
I'm fine. I have been watching this wonderful video I found on the internet called Culture Doom Let's Play Season of the Sakura.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing. What's it about?
It's about two wonderfully charismatic podcast hosts playing a retro 1990s hentai dating sim called Season of the Sakura.
Ooh.
It's just splendid, and I laughed and laughed so hard that I peed my pants.
If you were wearing pants.
That's true. I peed my bucket. Also, I'm not sure, especially since that you've relocated. The listeners probably don't know this yet, but you've relocated your studio.
Yes, I got
from the office. You got evicted from your office.
Yeah.
To the living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck masturbating there, my friend.
Yeah. Especially by like the window to the front of our house and stuff. Yeah. It's well, because
you're gonna be a phone masturbator only from now on.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be difficult even in the bathroom because I have to basically share my bathroom with like my son.
You have no privacy
I have
now?
no place. And I have the garden. I have the yard shed and the crawl space. And the attic. But I might make too much noise in the attic.
That's how. But like, so if you go to take your shower, you have to leave the door open or something?
No, I close it. I close the door.
Okay, well then.
But I can't be taking like a long period. I mean, how am I gonna?
How long do you need?
It's gonna get bad if I take my phone in there.
Oh, I always take my phone everywhere.
Into the shower?
Yeah, not into the shower, but I take it into the bathroom.
That's gonna be the difficult part.
Why is that gonna be difficult?
Well, because I'm gonna watch stuff in the shower.
Yeah, but you do it outside the shower, and then you get like directly. You put the phone down and get in the shower, and then the evidence goes down the drain.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know. I mean, the only issue is if your wife is going to say, "Why are you taking your phone into the shower?" I don't know if she's going to notice that. I think she might. You just have to keep it in your pocket. Be real sneaky, like. Erica, don't bust your husband's balls over this.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to like see how you work out with like your pee catheter device and see like, hey man, you got one for like, can you build me one for like beating off and stuff too? So I need evidence. I need to get rid of evidence.
It's worth.
Wink, wink.
I don't know. I think that having a 10-gallon drum of cum is worse than having a 10-gallon drum of piss in your living room.
Have you ever
especially with your kid? The whole issue here, Alex, you idiot, is that you're not supposed to be jerking off in your living room. This is what we're trying to avoid.
I know, but it's so difficult.
I can jerk off anywhere in my apartment, anywhere.
Well, you only have like
kitchen.
The only person who's going to give you a look is a cat.
That's true. I mean, I am beholden only to my own standards.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, yeah. I think on our Twitter, I responded, and there was a picture of just me in the front corner there, and there's 2 shelves above me that's now got like a lot of like cookbooks and board games and stuff. So,
Alex, I don't know how you would ever. Where did this desk come from that you have?
The one that I use now.
Yeah, the one that you sent the reply.
It's the same one I had in the bedroom.
No, I know, but where did it come from?
We bought it from somebody. It was off of Craigslist. When we were doing a lot of our furniture was just kind of secondhand, and we basically
I thought this was like Erica's childhood.
No, she didn't have one.
Is that a mouse
desk
pad? Is that white thing a mouse pad?
What way? On the right hand side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so dirty? Jesus.
It needs cleaning.
I can't believe I've never given you shit for this thing yet. Why do you have a white mouse pad to begin with?
I don't know, because
That's questionable.
I think it was a Steel Series 1, and I should have gotten like
dear
like
Lord.
that plastic vinyl, whatever.
Yes. I'm gonna get you a gift.
You know what, the mouse pad we use for like the living room computer is actually way nicer than this one, because I've noticed I'm like, this looks like poo stains. It looks like dirty Hanes underwear.
This is like years of cum and sweat. And is this from college?
No.
Oh, yes, it is.
Sure. I feel embarrassed by it. I mean, I should probably get like a new one on like.
I mean, I didn't mean to draw attention to the filthy
cum
filthy world you live in.
Yeah.
So it's okay. You should see the underside of my my computer chair. It's just like
dried stalactites
everywhere. Yeah, it's stalactites. And you know, like those take years to form.
This guy did it in 4 months.
I think we've been suitably disgusting enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I heard you having a sip. What are you drinking this evening?
I am having Lviovsky Premium Lager from Ukraine. It was a pint, and it's $1.99 at Friar Tuck's. I got like 4 of them.
Nice.
Yep.
So that's a 4-pack?
No, they just some of the bottles
they
just sell them as individual, but I'm just like, it's $1.99 and it's decent. They didn't have the 1715, which I think is better than this, but yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. I mean, I'm more than happy to throw my old my homeland countrymen a couple of bucks.
The mother country. Now that the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's chilly in the evening and crisp in the morning.
Yep.
I've reverted back to Scotch.
Oh, that sounds good.
And picked up a special-ish bottle tonight. It's not that special. I mean, it's readily available. But I picked up the new Ardbeg 5-year-old Wee Beastie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty good.
Did Ralphie
it's definitely
review that?
He just reviewed it. Actually.
Okay, now I do recall him doing an Ardbeg recently. I couldn't recall if it was this particular one.
That's where I heard about it.
How long have they been producing this?
It can't be too long because he was saying he couldn't track down a bottle. It's bountiful in Chicago. It's at every Binny's in the area. So I went and picked one up on my way home today, specifically because we were resuming our normal program schedule.
I like how it's bountiful everywhere except the actual country of origin.
Well, it's funny because all of these distilleries, all these Scotch distilleries, clearly want to cater to the American market because, 7 out of 10 times we get the higher proof version, and everyone in the UK, all of the UK cucks get stuck with 40% no matter what. Because they know that they'll buy it no matter what. So they're just like, yeah, 40%, 40%. We get the 43%, the 46%, the 45% ABV, 50%, 55%. This is 47.3. And it's a standard bottle, which is interesting.
How is it? What is it like hints of? Is it more like a PT or is it more?
It's very peaty.
Very peaty. Okay.
It's more on the peaty side than the sort of sherry peaty like the Ugadal. 10-year. This is more like it's an early 10-year-old. Obviously, it's the same flavor of the Ardbeg 10, but just less matured. But I think somebody must have tried it and said, "Hey, this is good enough. Let's sell it for $5 less
to the Americans."
To the Americans, but it's in Scotland. People wanted it. People, he got it.
That's good.
So it's good. I don't know that it's worth the price if you can get the 10-year-old for $10 or for $5 more. That's where its value kind of is diminished. So I don't know that I would buy it again, but for what it is,
to try it out,
it's enjoyable. I'm certainly not going to kick it out of bed.
Yeah.
Are the U of I kids back in session?
Yes, they started. I think 2 weeks ago. 3. I think we're going on 3 weeks now.
And they're in person?
Yeah, you have the option to do it either in person or online.
See, it's interesting because I was thinking about how, I don't know how Columbia College, my alma mater, how they would even handle distance learning because of how much
hands-on.
I mean, if you're learning, if you're doing filmmaking, aside from the movies that I made alone in my apartment on the internet
with your cat.
For gay men, with my cat.
I mean, for gay men.
Those are I don't know how to how you would do this.
Yeah, that was kind of my concern because I was thinking because we do have some programs, and I can only speak about like the grad PhD programs and stuff. A lot of those types of, depending upon what curriculum you're taking, what discipline and stuff like that, a lot of that can be done online, especially like the classroom learning, the lecture hall type of stuff. But like you said, a lot of things that are like hands-on, more like we got College of Media or engineering college, or we have it's called ACES, which is agriculture and animal stuff. We also have like College of Veterinary Medicine. A lot of hands-on stuff I feel like would be very difficult because a lot of those things you have, semester or year-long projects that you have to do and things such as that.
At Columbia, I was looking at the COVID testing procedure, or not COVID testing, the COVID handling procedures that they're doing, and you can get tested for COVID once per week. If you are in the residence hall, are working on campus for at least part of the week, if you're taking in-person classes, so that means a significant portion of the students.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're a student who has to be at the school, you're entitled to one test per week for COVID, which is interesting. On campus testing too. It's not like you go to Walgreens and get reimbursed. you just go over to make an appointment and go to 618 South Michigan Avenue. I remember that building.
So how many? Because you took me to like one building there. Is it several buildings or is it just?
I took you to a building. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember going to a building when I was at the school.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Yeah, it's a collection of buildings.
Okay.
They own property all over the city. Do you realize, Alex, that our entire season 3 has been during COVID? We have gone from the beginning to the boring hell that we're currently living in.
Wasn't half of season 2 kind of like that too?
The end of season 2.
The end of season 2.
It was starting to ramp up right before we did that episode on Twitch. Because we did like a preparatory episode, and that was right before it like took off in the US.
Mm-hmm.
That weekend, the weekend that we did that, I believe, was when they started saying, at least in Chicago, they were like, maybe don't go out this weekend. It's gonna like practice, social distancing, don't hang out, wash your hands. That was the big one. Wash your hands, everybody. Wash your hands.
Because nobody washes their hands apparently.
Well, the funny thing about that to me is that as time has gone on, I feel like the whole spreading via surfaces has gotten less, like it's not what people are concerned about now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically been diminished as a vector for infection. Because for a long time, people were walking around with like gloves on and like those disinfecting wipes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
So
you can actually find real Charmin brand toilet paper in stores now for quite some time.
Oh, I know that in Chicago that you've definitely been able, because I've been fine with the toilet paper, but I remember you were saying you can only get like Walmart brand toilet paper.
Yeah, we could, and then we went in. Was it more recently? I think we went there for something else recently, and I was just like looking down the aisles. I'm like, oh shit, they got like Charmin and Quilted Northern. I'm like, wait a second, what's happening here? Are you rustling my jimmies?
So have you made peace with the idea that everything is going to be fucked up for at least another full year?
No, not a full year.
You don't think it's going to be a full year?
No.
You think that we'll be back to normal by next summer?
By next summer?
By July, let's say.
Yeah.
And so you're just making these proclamations because you know that you won't have to answer to them because you're going to abort the podcast by that time.
No. We'll still be doing a podcast as long as the internet's still
You're gonna have a baby. You're gonna have a baby being like, I'm crying.
Like I told you, I will try my best to work things in and stuff like that.
I see. I'm not nearly as optimistic. I have made peace with not being able to have a girlfriend or go to a bar ever again in my life.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking, I'm like, we've been doing this stuff now since like what, mid-March, and I'm looking
March
at my
20th was when lockdown.
And I look
started.
out my window and stuff like that, and I'm going to like a bunch like Walmart and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no dudes walking around here in fucking loincloths and hockey masks in front of like a raving group of motorcycle bandits. It's like it's
That's
not.
what I mean. It's
I kind of wanted that.
I know we all wanted that. I mean, you wanted that most of all because you were like stockpiling ammo and using your Trump bucks to buy an AR-15.
No, I got that nixed.
Oh, by your better half?
Yeah, I don't know better.
Yeah,
in that sense,
good job, Erica.
I mean, I'm still sitting on a shitload of fucking shotgun shells and stuff like that, but an AR is way different.
The problem with your shotgun, Alex, is that once you take out the first like 6 Marauders, you're fucked.
I know. I have to hold on, brothers. Need to refill this.
Reloading that shotgun, while like it's a shotgun, it's fine, but it's not the quickest.
No,
it's not like quick
it's
release. Not like Doom where you just get to run around in a circle reloading.
Yeah, it's
while
not
the
like
demons chase you.
Well, actually, I don't think it like in the original Doom. I think you didn't have to actually reload.
Yeah. I know. As soon as I said it, I regretted it. You're right.
Well, I want that shotgun. That's like hands down the greatest shotgun that was ever in video games. I mean, Halo had a
super shotgun. He does reload. It's just but it's a dual chamber.
The original Halo shotgun was
Double
fantastic too, and then they went to Halo 2 and it was like, what the fuck is this thing? It like dies after 5 feet of range. It was terrible. And then they did something weird in Halo 3. They never could quite master it back. But the original pistol was also great because the scope on that thing was way better
They were
than
all
anything.
unbalanced. You could snipe people with the shotgun in Halo 1.
Yeah. It was amazing. Great thing. But anyways, the other problem is that like all my fucking loads, like all my shells are all for like fucking clay targets and small game birds. So if I'm being attacked by a raving band of small avians, I mean, they'll be fucking taken out easily, but anything bigger than that. Like Dave Chappelle had the best idea. He's just got like the fucking like nasty business type of shells if somebody tried to breaking into his house. That's the kind I should have gotten. But when I look at the price of them, they're pretty expensive, and I'm like, I can't just buy a box of like 100 shells. That's going to cost a lot of money.
Anyway, hope everyone's staying happy and healthy in COVID world.
So we're drinking tonight.
Yep. Cheers, everybody. Speaking of cheers, Alex.
Yes, Nicholas. I mean, shit. Sorry.
Oh no. Oh no.
I just saw. Oh, here's the reason. Erica uploaded some pictures to our iCloud account, and it said it went to like the Nicholas file, and that's what I read. I read it out loud, and I apologize.
Alex often treats me like his son already. Anyway,
I do. You are awesome. You have you have Ninja Turtle pajamas. You have cool shark pajamas. What did you have tonight to eat? You had pizza. You had a full slice of pizza, and you had some Pringles.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Then you had
it
ice
isn't
pop.
too far off. It isn't too far off from what I usually have.
You have ice
Pringles
pops?
And like.
I don't even have ice pop.
Why didn't you have an ice pop?
Because I got them for my son.
You being healthy?
Well, I was doing good with my weight, and then I got to a point like a couple months ago, and I'm like, you know what, Erica? Put a 30 case of beer on the Walmart delivery order.
You're like, you know what, Erica? We've got 2 kids now. You're locked down. I don't have to do this shit anymore.
We're going full tilt dad bod.
30 cans of Bush, please.
Yeah. It's like after like ludicrous speed, then you get the plaid, and then you hit dad bod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. I definitely during quarantine at first my thought was, oh, I'll use this time to better myself, and I'll go back to working out and doing 500 sit-ups every night like I used to. Yes, everybody, there was a time when my dumb drunk ass thought that was necessary. And then about 3 weeks into quarantine, I realized that this wasn't going to end in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped caring about everything. What are we talking? Oh, no, what I was going to say, Alex. Speaking of congratulations, I was at your wedding.
Yes, you were.
Long time ago. How long ago was this? When was you? How long have you been
this
married?
year we're going to be doing 7 years.
7 years. So 7 years ago, I was at your wedding, and I don't really recall much of it. Not because I was intoxicated, but because there was just a lot going on. So I don't remember a lot of this, but what I'm getting at is that there were a lot of songs that are kind of traditional in a white person wedding. And I don't recall any of these being part of your wedding, but maybe I missed it. These are the top 10 banned wedding songs.
Oh, BAN, banned as in like illegal?
Yeah, BANNED.
Banned. Okay.
Banned songs.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1 is no surprise, the chicken dance. I don't remember the chicken dance since I was maybe 10 years old at like mother-son dance at school. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think it overstayed its welcome, and then it just kind of, I think it got overplayed by a different annoying song like the Macarena or something.
Well, Macarena's on this list too, number 3.
Oh, number 3. Okay, Macarena.
But do you remember the mother-son dances?
I never went to one. We didn't have any. My school didn't have any.
Did your mom ban them?
My mom didn't. I don't think my mom had a say into banning them or allowing them. We just didn't have them in my grade school.
Were there father-daughter dances?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was a different type of Catholic school from the kind you attended.
Yeah, apparently. The cha-cha slide.
The cha-cha slide, is that number 2?
That's number 2.
The cha-cha slide, I've gone to quite a few weddings that have the cha-cha slide. I think we had one at ours.
Did you really? How embarrassing.
I think we did. Yes.
Funny thing about Cha Cha Slide, this is a Chicago song. Did you know that?
A Cha-Cha song? No, I just know that
Cha Cha
people have
Slide
it
is a Chicago artist.
His name is Cha-Cha Slide?
No, the guy who did it. Now you're gonna make me look up on Wikipedia. Cha Cha Slide was by DJ Casper. Raised in Englewood, Chicago. And notably, the Cha Cha Slide music video is filmed on Michigan Ave in Chicago.
I didn't even know there was a music video. That is fascinating.
There's a music video.
That is
Channel 2 News shows up in it. I'm watching it right now.
Lester Holt for Channel 2 News.
I don't remember. I think Cha Cha Slide is another one that I only remember at church events.
Again, with church-related stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm seeing a pattern here.
all of my entire adolescence of getting down was at church.
The House of
Catholic.
God.
Yeah, it's like after Catholic Mass, we went and did the Cha Cha Slide in the gymnasium. Macarena is on the list, of course. Cupid Shuffle. I have never heard of Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah, I've heard the Cupid Shuffle.
Do you know what it sounds like? Would you recognize the Cupid Shuffle?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the Cupid.
Can you perform some of it?
Yeah, Cupid Shuffle is like dun 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 to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the right. I think that's how it goes. I think now twist, walk it. Something. That one and Cha Cha Slide are always played in many weddings I've attended. I can't quite remember mine because I think it was a lot of like oldies. I don't think oldies. Was it oldies? Just like, yeah. Cupid Shuffle. Yeah.
Oldies.
I think it was old. I don't know. They're like we like it was like music that like everybody could enjoy. It was just like non-threatening. It was just nobody would have any issues with the music.
You mean it was safe? It was safe for old white people to get down with at the wedding.
A lot of WASPs and Eastern Europeans to enjoy. They shook hands together and they said, "Next time without Italy."
YMCA is on the list.
YMCA, I don't think it's as popular as it used to be. YMCA, I always associated that way more with New Year's and sporting events.
This entire list is not wedding songs, aside from Chicken Dance. All of the rest of this shit is like proms and sock hops.
Chicken Dance, my youth. You know what? Chicken Dance, last time I honestly feel like I've heard either the Chicken Dance or YMCA was when I went to a Cougars game. And that's a minor league baseball team. I don't think I
kind of remember the Chicken Dance at Cougars games. I used to go there, and once again with the Catholics, as an altar boy, we used to go there once during the summer. The priest would take all of us young, supple altar boys to watch a baseball game.
And then there was that one kid that's like, Father, why do we always sit here over by the first base path? And he's like, well, we don't sit next to the third base path. I'm like, why is that? He's like, that's reserved for the WASPs and Eastern Europeans.
Hokey Pokey, Electric Boogie. Yeah, these are all songs from sixth grade to
7th grade,
12th grade. No, I remember being at high school proms. Did you go to prom?
Just salute to you, like our high school prom.
Yeah, see, that wasn't a prom. That was a fundraiser. We went to a fundraiser for our high school, quote unquote prom. Because I was a social butterfly. I went to all of the high school proms. I went to Aurora Central, and I went to Rosary. I did not go to East Aurora. I did not go to theirs.
Oh, was there a reason, or
I didn't know any? Oh. No one invited me. All the girls at work were inviting me to their proms when I was in high school. Pick of the litter, Alex. Now look at me. I have a cat, and I'm alone.
Hey, man, but you're going to have that amazing catheter machine put up, so.
I don't know. I think your idea of the masturbation machine would get a lot more use.
Yeah.
The wobble. I've never heard of the wobble. Speaking of masturbating, the wobble.
I think the wobble's more of a recent thing.
Well, let's find out. The wobble. What the fuck?
Oh, there's an instructional dance for it.
Like you've got Southside Chicagoans and Louisiana rappers doing songs for white people at weddings.
Oh my god, there's a video of like a bunch of people at a Western bar doing the wobble.
See?
In hats and boots. It's glorious.
See? It's very strange.
Cowboy Calvin?
What was the song? Mambo Number 5?
Oh, that was Lou Bega. Mambo Number 5.
Was there a dance to that?
No, it was just the song.
Oh, okay.
I know that for a fact. My brother owns that album.
Adrian texted me the other day. He was like, I haven't listened to the show in a long time. And I said, Adrian, I haven't made a show in a long time.
Notice how he goes to you to ask about the status of the show rather than me. It's okay.
Hey, I don't know what relationships between brothers are like.
It's like actually being able to talk to your cat for real.
I was talking to Liz about how I thought that it would be weird having a sibling because I would imagine watching them getting married to be kind of heartbreaking and like your best friend is leaving. And she was like, not really. I didn't really feel that way. I was like, really? And she said, yeah, no, I didn't have that kind of emotional reaction. I may have like cried a little bit during a toast or something, but during the wedding, I was like, that's so interesting to me because I feel like I would be really emotional, but I have this idealized version of what my sibling relationship would be like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're best friends. And she's like, we're not, no. Like your siblings are usually not your best friends. It's like, that's interesting. But who knows? I'm sure there are many people. I don't know what it's like. I've only had cats. And all my cats have been my best friends.
Well, you had not a gerbil, hamster.
A gerbil. I did. Lola. I have had many hamsters in my life.
Yeah. Have you ever had fish?
I did. I had a fish named Herb for a long time. I won him I won him after church.
Do you have church? Have you? I think it's a message from the Almighty that you've been away for too long.
Right.
You got the weekend's coming up.
No, I won Herb after at Oktoberfest. It would be after 10:30 a.m. Mass in the middle of October. It would be the Oktoberfest at the parish that I was at with my family, and so there was one of those ping pong games where if you got the ping pong into the little mini fish bowl, and you got a goldfish, and I got a goldfish, and I had that fish for like 2 years.
Jeez.
I was a good fish owner.
You know what? There's
responsible.
some fish they can last for a long time. I had an angelfish when I was a kid for maybe 2.5 or 3 years.
Oh wow!
And they're the kind of fish that get bigger depending upon your tank size. And she was like a huge fish. I had like a bunch of them, bunch of different like species of fish, like freshwater ones. And she was the one she started off with all of them, and then she was like the last one. I was just like, holy crap, this fish it got huge. I'm like, a little bit of butter and some parsley maybe.
That's mean. Don't say that.
She was given an honorable burial at sea.
Don't say that either. You flushed it down the toilet.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
I buried Herb. Herb got like a real funeral.
No, you can't do that because the problem is you don't know if the property your house was previously an Indian burial ground. They can come back and get you in the middle of the night.
My mom's yard is filled with hamsters, fish, a turtle.
Oh God, no, dude. We're gonna have to go. I have to drive up there and get some like sea salt and pour it on the ground and then like burn it all there.
Sea salt? I'm like, you're gonna kill the grass. What are you doing?
That's how you get rid of the souls. And then like anything that comes out of the flames, you have to drive it back into the flames to kill it.
I think there's 3 or 4 cats also.
That's
3 cats. There's TC, Prudence, and Moose.
Oh man, dude, that's not a good sign.
And Zoe's there.
You're making this I'm gonna need 2 giant containers of sea salt.
Yeah, no, Zoe's there because I found out that as long as you dug like 4 feet, you could bury a dog at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we did. We did a burial at home for Zoe. Anyway, also my little brother, he died when I think he would have been like 4, so I would have been 10. That's why I have such an idealized version of what it's like to have a sibling.
I'm gonna need 3 containers, 5 containers. I'm just gonna back up a giant fucking truck with like just like fucking sea salt, like just rock salt, and be like, this is a spot.
Speaking of wanting to die, Alex, you were telling me about some python eating a penis.
Yeah, there was a story that came out recently of a dude in Thailand who went to take a shit on a toilet, and he ended up getting his dick bitten by a python.
So, like, was it just the penis, or was it like the full?
I think it was the
tip?
shaft. It sounds like it might have been the shaft.
So just
yeah,
the penis. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, actually, let me take a look here. It was a guy, an 18-year-old man who basically sat down on the toilet, and when he did so, he basically just felt like a very sharp sting down on his penis, and apparently he jumped up, and thankfully the snake apparently like let go of it, which is interesting because it's a python, so pythons tend to be more of the constrictor type of snakes, like boas and things such as that. So he basically ran out of the room and ended up having to go to a hospital, in which he ended up having to get stitches, and I think it was stitches even on the tip of his penis too. So, and in the meantime, I guess his family called like animal handlers, and they've ended up finding like a 4-foot long python in the toilet, and
in the latrine.
Yeah, and then the animal handlers were like, do any of you guys own a python? And the people are like, no. They're like,
everyone just looks at each other and they're like, no.
Who's gonna vouch for the bloody penis? So apparently I guess it's something where the python either came in through the house or somehow got through the plumbing system, which if that's what your plumbing and sewer system is like in Bangkok, then I would be very careful about ever sitting down to take a shit or doing anything around a toilet at this point. Because that thing basically has to swim upward. And there are snakes that are capable of swimming in water. It can be done, but the fact that this thing has to actually get into... I don't know if this was like on the first or second or third floor of an apartment, but the fact that the thing actually has to get through the actual sewage system and then out of
so this was a real toilet with real plumbing?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And then it basically has to get through the piping into the toilet, still not, still having enough oxygen to keep moving and stuff. And then it comes out and it's like, oh look, food, and then bites your dick.
Okay, 2 things. One, what I worry about with the toilets, especially in like the month of August and September, are spiders. Because I believe at one point, holy shit, there's a photo?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of blood.
Photo? Who took a photo of the kid holding?
I think that's an after, but I think this is when the animal handler showed up.
Okay, yeah. He's like, oh, it bit my dick. At least he's having a laugh about it.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would be that that lighthearted about
getting
about a fucking python biting my.
I mean, I think I would be pissed off that it's like I was like, holy shit, there's a fucking snake just bit my dick, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm on the toilet and a snake bit my dick.
I guess all's well that ends well.
Yeah, but the fact that
maybe he can laugh about it. But
well, also the thing is like it's a 4-foot long snake, and I mean, my kid is 3 feet tall basically, so an extra foot on top of that. That's a good sized snake, especially one that's going to be able to get through like your toilet and stuff like that.
So yeah, I worry about spiders because I think that I saw some YouTube video that was explaining in Australia you have to flush the toilet first before you use it because there can be a spider hiding underneath the rim.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they flush the toilet and this giant spider runs away because it's like hiding underneath but where the water comes out. So that like scarred me, mentally scarred me. And then the other thing I was thinking about recently was what a terrible view from below that python had.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the worst view of a man's anatomy that can ever be had.
It's kind of like when you're watching porn and you have that shot and you're like, why did the cameraman decide to, not just the cameraman, but like why in post-production did they decide to keep this clip, like this particular shot?
So like what I would do as a video editor, whenever I watch that, because most of this porn is shot at 1080p, so, and I think I know the shot you're talking about. It's like you just blow up the shot a little bit and reframe it so that the asshole is not like in the center of screen, so that the dude's asshole isn't like, you don't need that.
I don't want to see the dude's asshole.
And if they shoot 4K, then you won't even lose any resolution.
Because the problem is that they're showing more of the guy than the actual girl he's going to town on, and at that point you're just like, I'm gonna turn this off. I don't care like watching that anymore. As far as I know. But do you think, I wonder if the snake just like was like, oh look, food, or was it like he was fine in there? He's like, oh okay, the guy's there's something there, and then the guy just started like peeing or pooping, and then he's just like, what the fuck, motherfucker, and he goes and bites him. I think he started getting peed on.
He was outraged. I mean, that's not a bad idea. You'd think the snake would be more threatened at first until the urine began, and then it was like, what the fuck? This I will not abide.
Yeah.
But so they killed the snake because of this?
I don't know. I think they just
certainly looks like
they. I mean, maybe in retribution they did. I don't know. There's no details about that, but I think that
there's so much blood.
That's the thing. Well, it's also because, I mean, considering how much blood gets pumped into your penis to begin with. I mean, even without any type of like, even when you're not erect, I mean, you have a crazy amount of blood that gets pumped into it when you're erect from your body. But when you're not, when you're just flaccid and stuff, there's still a decent amount of blood, which I've heard that the problem with a lot of male porn actors is that a lot of the guys that are larger, when they have to do scenes, it's kind of difficult for them to constantly keep it erect just because of the amount of blood that has to go through it and stuff. So they have to use like the blue pill and stuff.
All right. Well, I'm glad that he didn't lose anything that he couldn't fix. I'm glad it was all temporary injury and not permanent disfigurement for this young man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So Godspeed.
Snake penis guy.
All right. I'm going to take a quick break to get another pour of scotch. And when we come back, Alex and I are going to commiserate over trends from our youth that we missed out on. So keep it tuned here to Culture Doom, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, look at that tree! It's shaking! The Magic Burger King! What's shaking, kids? Who's that?
Kids, meet Sir Shake-A-Lot.
Sir Shake-A-Lot's my name. Drinking shakes is my game.
When Shake-A-Lot's thirsty, he loves a good shake. It's so cold and frosty, it makes him quake.
Great shakes, Burger King.
With my shivery shakes, we'll have a ball. So I'll cover this table. Look, shakes for all.
Great shakes.
I love magic.
And I love shakes.
So, with my baton, we'll have some fun.
If you're making shakes, I'll order one.
It's a magic shake I'll make right here. When you sip a little, watch mine disappear.
That really shook me up, Burger King.
He's a marvelous, magical Burger King. He can do most anything. He loves magic and food that's fun.
He's got shakes for everyone.
Burger King, yay!
Great shakes!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Culture Doom. This is episode 320, still in progress. I went and refilled my glass, but I did not put in the nice ard bag. I went back to some swill.
What kind of swill?
Because I knew, I wanted to hold on to the ard bag for a while, so I knew I should pick up something, a daily drinker, as the alcoholics say. And this is Banknote 5. It's notable for a blended whiskey, a blended scotch, that it has an age statement. It's a 5-year-old blended scotch, so very young. It's actually, now that I think of it, it's the same age as the Ardbeg, yet it only costs $20.
Interesting.
I actually forgot. Well, the Ardbeg is a single malt, so that's part of it. This has got a bunch of grain whiskey blended into it, but it's not bad. And for the price, it's this is another Ralphie review, but from a long time ago. That an honest blend. So if you're in the market for a budget whiskey that's a budget Scott that's still satisfying, banknote 5-year-old. Ask for it by name. Tell him Brendan sent you.
Tell him Brendan sent you. Brendan approved.
They'll be like, what the fuck does that mean? You and I were, I think this was because the new Bill and Ted movie came out a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago, let's say.
You going on a month, yeah.
And we were kind of talking about it in very detached terms. We were not super affectionate towards Bill and Ted or had any strong opinions on Bill and Ted. And finally, we were discussing how you and I really didn't care about Bill and Ted.
Correct.
And that Bill and Ted were not part of our childhoods, really.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way, Back to the Future was not a major childhood nostalgia film for either of us. We were aware of these films, and we may even enjoy the films, but we did not have the sort of like, ooh, I love Bill and Ted, and Back to the Future is one of the best movies of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have that feeling.
Right.
So then Alex and I started talking about this more and realized there was a bunch of shit that we missed out on. Or at least, we shouldn't say missed out on it. There's a bunch of shit that came and went that we just didn't care about.
Correct. Right.
Like,
even though
one of the other...
even though a lot of other people are very goo goo gaga over and have kind of kept this sort of franchise fandom kind of going on about it and stuff, which you kind of see in many things now.
There are people who get really... I mean, there were people who were talking about Bill and Ted as if it was a defining film of their, when they were when they were 10 years old, 9 years old, that kind of age range. And I remember seeing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey at the drive-in movie theater with my mom. And I remember liking it. I have not seen it since. It was not something that I rented often. So it was one of those movies that I saw. I was like, oh, that's funny. The end.
Yeah. And then you never thought about it a second time.
Never thought about it again. And I don't think I saw Back to the Future until much later after those movies were out. I think I saw them at a hotel in Florida was the first time I saw Back to the Future. And I liked it, but it was not a movie that I've sought out to rewatch multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was a kid, like growing up watching cartoons, the biggest one I think you were very, very big into, to a good extent, was He-Man. And I wasn't really big into He-Man. You weren't? No, I really wasn't into He-Man. I had only 1 or 2 He-Man action figures, and that's it. My big thing was Thundercats. I was huge into Thundercats.
See, and I liked Thundercats quite a bit, but He-Man was my main joint. I liked the Thundercats artwork, and I liked the sword with the eye in it.
Sword
I had
of
that.
Omens, yeah.
I had the sword with the eye. But I had every He-Man toy. I was all over that shit.
I was the other way with Thundercats. Like I had every single action figure. I had clothes. I had I don't know if you had it, but it was these kind of pop-up tents that you could put over your bed, and you could zip it up.
I know what you're talking. I remember them in the Sears catalog.
Yeah. I had one for Thundercats, and I had one for Transformers. I was big into Transformers too.
See, and Transformers passed me by.
Okay.
I don't think I had any Transformers.
And then it was, apart from that, it was G.I. Joe, and then Ninja Turtles showed up, and Ninja Turtles was basically, that was it. It was everything before Ninja Turtles doesn't matter. It's Ninja Turtles now. That was my big thing.
But okay, so the spirit of this, Alex, we've gone off topic.
I'm
here.
sorry, I'm enjoying it though. That's probably why.
You just want to talk about shit that you like.
Yeah.
The issue here is the shit that you missed.
The shit I missed.
So for example, one of the other things that was popular around this time period that I know the only parts of it that I know are from cultural osmosis is the Goonies.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen the Goonies from beginning to end.
It's basically it's an okay kid adventure.
So you have seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And what's funny is that a lot of people tell us well, if you like the Goonies, then you'll really like Stranger Things because it's in the same, it's similar. And I'm like, I've heard that Stranger Things has got like monsters and bizarre like science fiction stuff and things. I'm like, well, that's not in the fucking Goonies. And they're like, well, you like movies from the time period from the 80s. I'm like, yeah, I like the Goonies, but like if I want to watch the Goonies, I'll watch the Goonies. Like I don't need to watch something that's made in modern day that kind of harkens back to that time period. I can watch something that was made during that time period instead. There's too much of this nostalgia baiting for 80s and now 90s stuff.
I nostalgia bait when I watch Emmanuel 6.
Rochelle.
So like, are there any movies that were popular that you have no connection to that were pop culture phenomenons, or at least have even
Speed?
even if they became Speed?
Speed
Okay.
is one of them. I know a lot of people.
You never saw Speed?
Yeah, I've never seen Speed. I just know it takes place on a bus, and Sandra Bullock looks really cute in it.
90s Sandra Bullock and very, very short-haired Keanu Reeves.
Which I think she has the same hairstyle in Demolition Man, which is a fantastic movie. It's the defining film of my life.
I'm surprised that you haven't come across Speed. Just like being around people. Although
I don't like people now.
I haven't. Yeah, that's true. I guess and now that you mention it, I don't think that it's ever come up in any relationship I've been in.
Okay.
No one's been like, "Oh, Brendan, we gotta watch Speed tonight."
I got a good one for you, dude. Here's one. Never Ending Story.
I have not. I think I watched part of it on VHS in grade school at like after school daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not have any. I know the big flying dog.
That's it. That's all I know about it.
And that's kind of.
Flying dog.
And I know the horse because of 4chan.
There's somebody called Atreyu, and that's about it.
So I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Never Ending Story. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I think it's like maybe I could sit down and watch it now if I want to, but it's like I can't even feel bothered.
When you were a boy, Alex, did your mom dress you in overalls?
I think I had one pair of Oshkosh Bagosh like bib overall, like coveralls, overalls.
I think, at some
like
point,
the Oshkosh
I think,
kind. Yeah, I did with a turtleneck. It was a green turtleneck.
Wait, you had overalls with a turtleneck?
Yes.
All right, nerd.
Well, what do you wear underneath them? You have to wear a shirt.
It's like a t-shirt. Yeah, a t-shirt.
Oh, I think they were for like, yeah, it was a turtleneck shirt, like a green turtleneck.
Overalls with, I mean, it was built in.
No, it wasn't built in. Like I wore a turtleneck, and then I had them as like the pants that was snapped over. It was cold. I think it was like
look.
fall.
I'm looking at pictures of boys in bib overalls with sweaters or with what's it called? Turtlenecks. There are none.
Well, it was the 80s.
I know there's lots of girls. Well,
that was before
go.
the transition. So then the girls wear them.
Here we go. I think that on some level I decided that bib overalls were for girls.
Interesting.
It was a girl look.
Uh-huh.
And so I mean at a very early age I refused. I think at the age of like 6 I was like, no, get this off me.
Okay.
What are you doing, woman? So I didn't have overalls.
Okay. Well, I did. I think it was just the one pair, and that's it. I think the fashion changed quite swiftly. I went to sweatpants. I need to get some new jeans eventually because I feel weird going to like almost my 40s into like American Eagle being like, yes, young person, I would like to purchase some jeans, please.
That's why you were asking me about Levi's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
American
God,
Eagle.
the secret's out.
It's time to move on from American Eagle.
I'm just going to buy a bunch of Wranglers at Farm and Fleet.
Yeah, that's fine. Just get the straight cut.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get skinny cut jeans anymore, all right?
Are they out?
Well, it's not that they're out. We're too old.
We're too old. Okay. I've seen some men in their like 60s wearing that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Mario Kart. This was where you and I are going to deviate even more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play Mario Kart?
Yes.
Yeah, Mario Kart was... I think I played Mario Kart in college for the first time and immediately wrote it off and said it was stupid.
Was it Mario Kart? It was like Super Nintendo or was it 64?
It would have been 64. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Then if you played the original, you wouldn't have said that.
I just don't like the fact that I can be winning the entire game and then lose at the last minute.
Yeah, that there's that bullshit factor about
But
that.
that's my point. Is that only in the N64 version?
No, I think that, well, it's in any version where you suddenly have the blue shell, which I think started in the N64 version. The original, the Super Nintendo version didn't have that. It only had the red and the green, but you could basically get knocked out by like a shell from the person in second place, and they'll overtake you and stuff like that, or shrink you, or something like that. Like a lot of the things that they introduced in 64, I wasn't too keen on, and stuff like the battle arenas. I hated those battle arenas because they weren't even like battle arenas; they were just like skyscrapers and shit like that. It sucked ass. I think a lot of those games kind of get ruined by how much ingenuity and innovation that they come about and shit like that. But what do I know? I'm just a cranky old man who needs pants.
You can get some Wrangler.
Yeah, I can get some. Yeah, that's more my speed at this point. Especially, it's more suited for men my age in my environment.
No relaxed fit all the way. Also, none of
What's
that
that?
shit. No relaxed fit shit though.
Oh,
Get away from that. What is this? Carpenter? None of that either.
Carpenter. You know what? When I used to buy Carpenter jeans, I didn't know what that fucking that handle on the side was all about. So I would actually buy the jeans and then cut off the fucking thing because I didn't know what the fuck it was for. Even though I found out later on.
You
it's like
cut
your
it
hammer.
off?
Yeah, because I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have these in these jeans?
And yet you were buying that version.
I know. That was another thing that passed me by in my childhood.
Huh.
It explains a lot. My wife learns more about me via these podcasts than she does talking to me.
Oh Jesus! I'm sorry, Erica.
Poor
Erica,
Erica.
when you take Alex to buy his new clothes at Walmart, make him try on these Wrangler's men's slim straight jean. They don't look too slim cut, like skinny cut. They're slim cut. They're not too. They're just a little bit shapier. Alex, you should consider this cut of Wrangler.
Are they for husky men?
Well, what are you, like 34?
36.
You're not 36.
I'm
you.
36.
I don't believe you. I think
I
you probably
do.
wear a 34.
No, I have a pair. Well, here's the thing.
I've seen.
It depends
you look
upon.
like your face looks so thin right now.
Well, it does, but you have to remember, I have an ass like a black woman.
You're a shapely young man.
I am a shapely woman.
All right, so 36. Yeah, so the 36. You're not husky, Alex.
Well, here's the thing. It
I know that you're
depends
fond
upon
of just like
the
insulting yourself for the sake of the listeners, but Alex
no,
is
no,
not
no.
actually husky.
It's true. I
You're
do.
not.
Well, I was. I mean, oh God.
I can feel Alex blushing across.
I
the
would
internet.
fit. I mean, to tell the truth, I would fit into as a background dancer in a T-Pain video.
I have no idea what that means, you weirdo. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, Alex, the point is try these on for me.
Okay.
Did you play Pogs?
Yes, my brother and I had Pogs.
You did? You played it or you collected it?
I think we got like a bunch of them, and he and I just played it, and then we just got tired of it.
See, I don't even know how to play Pogs, but I definitely had a bunch of Pogs. Like I had X-Men Pogs, and I had Power Rangers Pogs.
Mm-hmm.
But I never played a single game. I know you had a slammer.
Yeah, you'd stack them, and then you'd slam it down. Whichever ones flipped over, then you would win. Like you were supposed to like. Here's the problem with it: you collected Pogs, but then when you played against other people, you played for keepsies.
Keepies?
And keepsies. Sorry. You played ante. So basically, it's like whichever ones flip over, you win, and whatever they flip over, they keep, and stuff like that. So the problem is, like, if you played your Pogs that you really liked, you lost them. So sometimes you try to get doubles. And stuff
So
like
it was sort of like an updated version of Marbles. It sounds.
yeah,
like.
in a sense, yeah. And it originally, I think, came from Hawaii or the Pacific, like Polynesia, and those Pogs were like papaya, orange, and guava juice. It was like, I think they were like the actual like kind of like not labels, but kind of the seals over those, like the juice bottle that people would collect, and I guess they had different stuff printed on them. It goes, yeah. So that's kind of how it came about. I don't know really about the slammers themselves and how they originate, but I remember you had like the slammers were like hard vinyl, and then sometimes you had plastic. I'm sorry, metal, and then sometimes you have these giant things called bombers that are like this huge kind of like you could put them in a sock and kill a person with it, but. Trapper keepers.
You didn't have a trapper keeper? How
Nope,
did you get
never
by in
entered.
school?
I used regular folders like a normie.
That wasn't but the normies, the rest of us had trapper keepers.
Well, the normies whose parents wouldn't get them the fucking trapper keeper.
Like I had like the 5-star. I think by high school I was using junior high I was using the 5-star because it was like the more mature. It didn't have like some kind of weird sorry, I'm watching the Cubs game. It didn't have one of those. It didn't have like a weird pattern on it or some kind of crazy 90s design. The Trapper Keeper was always kind of more intense, but the 5-star
It's very professional.
Very professional. It's like, I'm here to learn about human reproduction.
Yeah. Did you have the marble? Did you have spiral bound spiral notepads? Or did you have like the marble tablet type of?
Oh,
notebooks?
for school I had the spiral ones.
Okay.
I think for school we weren't even allowed to use. I know what you're talking about. Because they were cooler because they were like in movies and shit, and TV shows. But yeah, no, I had the Mead spiral notebooks. College Rule. I always liked College Rule.
College Rule, yeah.
Let's talk about the 1985 anime film, The Dagger of Kamui.
Kamui.
Directed by Rintaro, that I want to talk about because he is an interesting filmmaker that I think is a little underrated in the world of anime.
Yeah, I tried looking up a little bit of his back catalog and stuff like that. So,
did you recognize any of it?
Two titles.
Okay,
stuck out.
Yeah. He's got an interesting history of films.
Yeah.
So, Dagger of Kamui is, I guess, kind of a alternate history fantasy epic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that action historical ninja epic?
Historical fiction, I guess.
Yeah. Before Ninja Scroll, before what else is there?
Ninja Scroll 2? What was it? It was
The Revenge of Jubei.
Revenge of Jubei.
It was terrible. That thing was terrible.
Was that the one where he turned into a plane or some shit?
Yes, and that was not Ninja Scroll 2. I just want to make that clear.
I never saw it, but thank you for saving me the time.
It was terrible. It was awful. It was offensively bad. But yeah, before all of that, 1985, directed by Rintaro and animated by the studio Madhouse.
Yeah, our second Madhouse thing.
In Madhouse's early days. Dagger of Kamui tells a story of Jiro, a young man, who is descended from the Ainu people of Japan, and I believe the Ainu are real, right?
Yeah, the Ainu are primarily they're considered they're considered like the indigenous people of the Japanese archipelago, even though they're primarily situated in Hokkaido, which is the northern island.
That's what, okay. So I am thinking of the right people.
Yeah.
So he's a Japanese Ainu half-breed type. His adoptive mother and sister are murdered, and he is blamed for their murder, and has to flee his home and then uncover the truth of his mother and sister's murder, the reality of his actual parentage, his real father and mother, and then get revenge and find the treasure in an adventure that spans half the globe. Alex, what did you make of the 1985 film The Dagger of Kamui.
Dagger of Kamui, like we mentioned earlier, it's kind of before Ninja Scroll, and it's sort of, I feel like it kind of did a little bit of influencing of Ninja Scroll about how you incorporate some of the more fanciful magic elements to
totally.
ninjutsu. Because there's a lot of that. Like if you've ever watched this movie prior to watching Ninja Scroll, or even watching Ninja Scroll and then watching this afterwards, like I have, I don't know if you did too, but I could definitely see that there was similar type of ninja archetypes and characters and other ninjas that sort of use like special powers, not like in the Naruto sense, but more so of like more like a not a style, but more of like a technique, I suppose. I mean, that's another Naruto thing, but it's not ninja. I think the problem is like with Naruto.
Kage no Bushin.
Yeah, because this is definitely falls within like the pre-Naruto ninja style, and then like Naruto is like a different type of thing. Like Naruto's in its whole different galaxy in a sense, but this is more, I guess, grounded, even though there's some stuff like that. But it's
Well, there's a lot you can. I like. It's funny when you texted me and you were like, "Oh my god, this reminds me of Ninja Scroll." I had forgotten how much.
Yeah.
All the jumping through the forest stuff,
The
and
sounds.
like the ninja stars, the sounds, the 8 Devils of Kimon thing from Ninja Scroll is clearly influenced by this film.
Right. Also like some of the fights between characters where it's just a single hit, and then it like slows down and it's like, oh, he got sliced in half. Okay. You know, the kind of like that setting of like the tension and stuff like that based upon just a simple move.
Stylized.
Yeah, hyper stylized, especially that. I did like the animation quality looked pretty good in terms of detail and cleanliness.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was probably just, I don't know, maybe it was the transfer that you had received or you had gotten or something like that, but it looked like it was done very well. It is done by Madhouse, which has a very good track record.
Well, and also
stuff.
the style, like it's a very stylized
It's a very
anime.
Yeah, it's kind of it's what was this 85? Okay, so mid 80s.
Yeah.
So trying to remember what would be something from that time period. So it's kind of, some of the characters look like they are in this like the late 70s like design style, but since it's a film, it has the better quality in terms of finishing and post production, and also cleanliness of any type of marks and stuff like that. So
I feel like the bad guy. I think Tenkai. I think was his name.
Yeah, he was like the
he had that 70s like really rigid look to him. Like he had like
imposing
the really narrow
visage.
eyes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things about anime that I always liked that you're talking about, his like imposing size, is that they don't care about fucking around with scale of their characters in anime. So like to emphasize the how terrifying the character is, they will make him look like 12 times bigger than the other character in certain shots. And then in other shots they'll be like the normal size, but they don't mind making it look like he's like 12 feet tall.
They still want to keep that in the back of your mind that this is somebody who you don't want to mess with. You know,
right.
This is it's a powerful person that could destroy somebody. It is interesting also how the subject matter is, and like we mentioned, like the Ainu, which is, you know, a very small group now in Japan. But also, since this was something that was taking place within, it was like during like the Meiji incident. I think it was like the Meiji time period.
It was like the end of the
mid 1800s. Yeah. Mid to late 1800s and stuff like that. It's just also, I think this is probably the first anime that I've actually watched that has any type of mentioning of the Ainu as characters,
right?
Let alone the main character, let alone characters of any sort. The only thing I can, off the top of my mind, remember that would be somewhat similar would be kind of like the people, like the villagers from Princess Mononoke.
I was thinking about like them during this film.
Yeah,
it's
with
so
like the similar houses, the clothing, like some of the designs on the clothing and stuff like that. So it's it's quite similar to that. Also, when it looks at the look of Jiro, and then also the other Ainu characters, that they when you look at them, they look more of like a Western European type of look, like a what's his face? Studio Ghibli's desire.
Hayao Miyazaki?
Miyazaki, how Miyazaki, like a lot of his characters look almost European in a sense. The Ainu here do themselves, because when you took a look at like the Ainu themselves, they don't have that, standard Jomon or Yayoi ad features that most Japanese do. The biggest thing being how they have more hair. They have more hair on their bodies themselves. They look more swarthy. They look almost like kind of like best way to describe it, kind of more they grow full beards and stuff like that. Many of them look almost like like more mainland Asian in some cases, almost like Inuit, than they do like more of the Japanese style and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, the way that finding out their history and what they are and such like that. So it's different in that sense. But then also kind of taking this character who's kind of both Japanese and Ainu, and then kind of setting him up in this strictly Japanese situation, which is like, I'm being hunted down by these like super ninjas. Not a good day for me.
One of the things that I really enjoy about this, kind of what you're speaking to, is how unique the story is, especially in the context of anime. Like you're talking about the use of the Ainu people in a mainstream Japanese production. I love the fact that somehow this story starts in like feudal Japan. We get to Edo, and then we somehow end up in Los Angeles in the mid late 1800s with cowboys.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I think it's a spoiler, but I don't care.
Tell the spoiler and they'll still be confused.
Somehow Mark Twain becomes a speaking character.
He comes
in this
across.
film.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was just like, Mark Twain, and I kind of thought to myself, why would he introduce himself as Mark Twain to something? Like, I would think he would just call himself Samuel Clemens, but I guess that
Right. He was already
probably
starting
his
his literary career.
Yeah, I think a lot of audiences at that point were just like, oh, I know who Mark Twain is, but they don't necessarily know what his actual real name is and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, he meets Mark Twain just randomly out in the middle of like America and stuff like that. And then they're
He's in Nevada, I think.
Yeah, and then they're like, he's like, oh, he was going to go and find, he was going to find Captain Kidd's treasure, like a pirate treasure or
like
something.
Santa Clara,
Catalina, Santa something. Santa Claus, California. But he was like looking for like Captain Kidd's pirate treasure, and you're like, I was watching a movie about ninjas, and now we're finding pirates with
now we're finding pirate treasure.
Mark Twain.
So yeah, like it's a very unique story. It definitely falls into the trap of this kind of naive 80s, 70s, 80s anime where there's lots of coincidences that keep pushing the story forward. Like him meeting a French Native American girl that also happens to have received the same hints to where the treasure is as he did. So we have a Japanese boy who has traveled to the United States in the 1800s following a treasure map. And then he randomly comes across a Native American girl who's about to be raped, saves her. She's actually not Native American, she's French, and she has the same clues to the treasure from her family that our hero has. That's a gigantic coincidence.
What a twist.
What a twist. And there's there's a bunch of shit like that happens in this. And part of me wanted to, hold the movie accountable at how much of the story is spurred forward from coincidences, but so much it's just so fun, and that it made me more accepting of this kind of innocent storytelling where it's like, and then this happens, and then he meets Mark Twain, and then this happens, and then he meets this French girl, and then this happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was almost it was kind of quaint in how coincidental and contrived things end up. But I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, it was. I definitely kept my interest peaked because I was just like, it was kind of like, you know, and we're not trying to give out too much about it, but it's just sort of like, okay, this is interesting. Where are they going to go next with the story? And then like,
It was like a nice international production. I really appreciated that it was just like a respectful international. We're gonna be respectful to Native Americans, Indigenous Japanese, or
I knew.
Sorry.
You should be.
I've had 3 glasses of whiskey.
That's okay.
We've been recording for 3 hours.
It's been a great episode. Edge on your seat.
So he's respectful to the Ainu. You got white Americans, black Americans, Native Americans. It's like a nice, fun, globe-trotting anime ninja western spectacle, and because of that, it's unique and fun, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then kind of towards the end, you're just like, oh, okay, this is what the ending is like, and like the events that happen. Not like a bad thing, but like basically just like.
I felt like the ending kept happening for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like a battle and stuff like that. So,
well, I mean, like you think that's over, and then it's like, we're sorry, the bad guy was in another castle at the end. I do think that one of the big problems with this, since we're kind of getting into the problem areas, is that there's too many characters and they kill too many characters early to make room for new characters.
Yeah.
When you could have just used the same characters for the duration.
Yeah.
And then when they die, it would have meant more. So.
But I guess basically they kind of had to show where, like, no matter where he goes, he just gets people killed around him.
Yeah,
that he meets.
Yeah. So very interesting anime, very stylized. Characters are a little, but that's fine. They're just there to move the story forward. You do get like a little sympathetic to some of these characters, especially some of the ones that die. But overall, I thought it was a fun historical epic anime. I think that the venerable Helen McCarthy, you and I went to a panel of hers at Anime Central. Do you remember this? Helen McCarthy. She was like the sassy old lady.
Possibly.
Oh, Alex, your memory.
There's not.
She was the sassy British old lady.
Oh no, I don't remember. The only memorable panel.
Oh, I know who you're gonna say. Yes, don't say that.
I know,
but I know what
you're
gonna say.
It was great.
So Helen McCarthy. Sassy British old anime chick. She wrote a good old fashioned epic, was what she called it, and I agree with that. 3 out of 4 pots of gold from me. Seek it out. I would teeter on saying 3.5, but because of how contrived and weird the shit gets towards the end, I'm like, okay. But 3 out of 4 pots of gold. Alex, what did you make of the Dagger of Kamui, also known as Kamui no Ken, I believe?
Kamui no Ken. I would also agree and give it 3 out of 4 pots of gold. It's a fun globe spanning adventure that starts off in a tiny little Ainu village and goes all the way to America and Mark Twain, and then it makes its journey back home. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. It's got that good old comfy 80s blood and violence that is sadly sorely missing these days in much of anime. Not that you or I really watch much anime, modern anime, that is, current year anime. But
2 weeks after we reviewed Dore Hidoro, but yes, your point is taken.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, there are standouts, but not something that like you could basically, you know, it was either a 50-50 chance. It's not like something that's like a 90 to 10% chance, you know, you getting something good. 10% good, no. But yeah, it was good, and it definitely shows influence on a lot of future titles. I don't know if this was influenced by anything prior to it, but for the time being, it's ninjas and the look and feel of it definitely feels like it's something that caused Ninja Scroll to kind of be the way it is in that sense.
So unanimous 3 out of 4 pots of gold and a unanimous recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Seek it out. You can actually watch it free. There's a couple. I think it's on Tubi.
Okay, I'm a big fan of Tubi.
Tubi you can watch free right now, and it's also on the longer side. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long for an anime film. That's fairly decent. So yeah, check it out and tell them Culture Doom sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Alex, let's ramp up this week's episode of Culture Doom. Would you please do me the honor of sending us off?
Sure. On behalf of Brendan, this is Alex saying Dopobachinya for episode 320 of Culture Doom.
You're not supposed to be jerking off in your living room. This is what we're trying to avoid.
I know, but it's so difficult.